Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, I'm hurting bad.
Well, this is Katia. She's been our translator on this adventure. She's been doing a sterling job. She's also a fellow vegan, which is lovely. And apart from doing translation for us, I know you're heavily involved in the world of dog rescue in Bulgaria. Just tell me about that and what you do.
Well, that is correct, and thank you for being a vegan too. I first got involved in stray animals rescue about 2.5 years ago, when I found a litter of puppies in the snow in February, which were basically dumped by a rubbish bin, the community rubbish bin, and I couldn't walk away, so I picked them up and I brought them home, and it's been a roller coaster ever since. And throughout these 2.5 years now, I have been making relationships with other fellow rescuers and trying to find a way to improve the quality of life of those street animals out there on our streets. And I've been in touch with private rescuers, I've been in touch with other organizations, and basically our main what our work consists of is, if we find a injured stray animal, we take him to the vets, we treat him or her, and we never ever return them back to the street. We do try to rehome them, and I personally have a couple of those that I could never let go of.
Now, I've asked this next question a couple of times this week, and I've I think, got quite vague answers. I'll ask you the same thing. How do people in Bulgaria perceive dogs? What do they think of dogs in general?
Well, really, there's a difference in the areas of where you would ask this question, really. In general, for many years, the dog was associated with a doorbell, really, just being chained outside the house, and rarely got any human attention or any good food. They've been fed with bread or corn, and never let go of the chain. The same attitude is transferred towards the stray animals, because understandably many people fear a barking dog, although the dog would not necessarily attack them, but just the sound of barking is a scary thing for some. And the good thing is there is now a movement amongst mostly young people who recognize the fact that the dog is actually more than just a guard or show-off.
Companion.
Yes, more, not just a show-off object, really. So I have not agreed for a long time the way that dogs have been treated in my country, and I'm really very hopeful to see these seeds of change that are now showing in some pockets of Bulgaria, mostly the bigger towns.
I know you've got some views also on how the media are sort of tackling the situation with dogs in Bulgaria.
Unfortunately, I would like to see a different way the media shows the problem with the stray population. There is a problem, everyone recognizes it, but also there was basically a war against the stray animals, and there were unfortunately 2 cases with people being attacked, but things were really presented in a way that the dogs were crucified, and there was a cow and mass poisoning followed. And
you think the media sort of stirred the situation up?
Absolutely, it incited all that, and a lot of animal rights activists think it's a purposeful distraction of the other problems that are in the country. For example, in the town of Silistra, where I lived for some time, there was an announcement in the local paper that a person has been bitten by a dog, and then we checked in the local hospital. They denied there has been such a patient, and then the response from the media was that the patient was treated in a hospital in another town. But we did call there as well, and we never. And the hospital there also said that they have not treated such a case in the past 48 hours. And the interesting thing is that there was no follow-up on the side of the media, which means basically they accepted the fact that they have been not correct. And this is done purely to mold the mindset of people.
Just a few days ago, I think just before we arrived here, there was a story of a dog. Was he chained to a car and dragged along? Just tell me about that.
This is a horrendous act of cruelty. Whoever I have spoken since, we just cannot even start to comprehend what's been happening in the head of this person who dragged the dog. And there was a huge uproar, mostly on the internet, and the case went spread internationally. And what really is wrong in this picture is, apart from the proprietor of this cruel act, is that the policeman who initially answered the call for the cruelty returned the dog to the same person. Basically, he returned the victim to the abuser, which violates any kind of law we have. And afterwards, the dog was found buried in the outskirts of the village. And tomorrow there will be a protest in the nearby bigger city. And a lot of many people are involved with this because they don't want to raise their kids in an environment where they will be conditioned to such cruelty, because they see one picture, then a month later there will be another case, because this is what's happening in Bulgaria. Pretty much every month there is something big coming up on internet, but these are one case here, one case there. It is happening quite a lot.
And the problem is, I understand that the perpetrators aren't being prosecuted.
No, they have not been. We have a fantastic law on animal cruelty, and cruelty to animals is a crime, and there is the sentence is basically going to prison, apart from being fined. But no one has still been prosecuted this way since 2011, when the law was put on paper. The person who dragged the dog has been now kept in custody for 24 hours. He was found, and there is now an investigation going on. And what the animal rights activists are really trying to finally make this law work and implement it. The institutions are being really passive. They have really been discouraging witnesses, and this time we are hopeful that this person will be punished for what he's done, fairly punished.
Well, listen, thank you for your passion and for all you do for the animals, as I know you do an awful lot. In fact, we're going to lose you now, aren't we, because you've got to go off and do more doggy rescue work. So we'll say goodbye and thank you for this week.
Well, thank you for visiting my country, and thank you for being involved. Thank you.